You are not going to believe what just surfaced about the royal family's secret plan to handle the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, because according to inside sources, there is one insane rule that would completely shut down any chance of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry ever stepping foot inside Balmoral again. And honestly, it's so brutally simple that you'll wonder why nobody thought of this years ago. Here's what we know. A British royal commentator recently dropped a bombshell about a potential summer visit. And no, this isn't the usual will they or won't they drama we've seen 100 times. This is different, because this time the future king himself is allegedly drawing a line in the sand. But here's the thing that nobody's talking about yet. There's a specific condition involving mobile phones that would make any visit practically impossible for one person in particular. Let me back up for just a second. According to reports, there was this bizarre story circulating recently about an American broadcaster who apparently believed that a certain photo was actually real footage of little Lilibet alongside Meghan Markle. Now, call me skeptical, but there is absolutely no way on this planet that anyone would toss aside a potential £1 million photograph just to release it casually online. That's not how any of this works. And yet, somehow, this nonsense became a headline, which brings me to a much larger point about how easily misinformation spreads when it comes to this family. But that little detour actually leads us straight into the real story, because here's where it gets wild. His Majesty the King, as many of you know, spends his summers up at Balmoral. Occasionally, he visits Sandringham. Pretty standard royal stuff. But what isn't standard? The fact that his youngest son, the Duke of Sussex, reportedly dandled the idea of finally letting his father meet his grandchildren. Archie, Lilibet, you get the picture. Now, on the surface, that sounds like a heartfelt family reunion waiting to happen. But hold that thought, because according to this excellent source, which appears to be incredibly well connected, there's a massive catch, and it involves someone you probably didn't expect to be the decision-maker here. Sources claim that the Prince of Wales, William himself, apparently wasn't completely against a visit happening. Surprising, right? Given everything we've heard about the rift between the brothers. But here's the catch. He allegedly laid down some stipulations, and not just any stipulations. We're talking about conditions so strict that they basically guarantee the visit will never actually happen. So, what are they? Let me walk you through this, because it's genuinely fascinating. First, there's the security issue. The Home Secretary would allegedly need to approve Harry's desired protection detail while in the UK. That alone is a massive hurdle. But that's not the part that made me laugh out loud. Here's the real kicker. According to these same sources, anyone visiting would be required to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Yes, you heard that correctly, an NDA for a family visit. But wait, because it gets even better. Phones would be completely removed. No devices, no recording, no photos, nothing. And reportedly, His Majesty absolutely despises hearing phone buzzes or rings during conversations. He finds it wholly intrusive. So the rule is basically total digital blackout. Now, here's why this is absolutely brilliant and also completely impossible at the same time. Remember when Meghan Markle famously told the Cut magazine in New York City that she'd never been asked to sign an NDA? She reportedly almost boasted about it, suggesting that because no paperwork existed, she could technically say whatever she wanted. But here's what's interesting. According to insiders, that's not entirely accurate, because the British monarchy does have an unofficial code of conduct. Even Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, has never really spoken negatively about the royals, despite her controversies. So the idea that there were no expectations of discretion, that seems questionable at best. But let me give you my honest take on this situation. In my opinion, there is no chance this visit ever happens. Not because of security concerns, not because of scheduling conflicts, but for one simple reason. Let's be real for a moment. Do you honestly believe someone would willingly give up their mobile phone and sign a legally binding agreement not to discuss anything that happens, especially someone who has built a significant part of their public brand around speaking openly about royal life?
I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just connecting dots here.
The same person who reportedly told a major magazine that there was no NDA would suddenly be expected to sign one for a casual family barbecue. That math doesn't math. But here's the part that actually surprised me. Sources claim that William's motivation here isn't necessarily about excluding anyone. It's reportedly about protecting his father, while the king navigates his own health challenges. And honestly, that's actually kind of understandable when you think about it from a family perspective. Regardless of what you think about anyone involved, the king is dealing with a lot right now, and adding unnecessary stress probably isn't on anyone's wish list. Now, let me take you back to something that happened recently that actually connects to all of this. There was apparently a trip to Australia involving Harry and Meghan that, according to multiple observers, didn't go particularly smoothly. I don't wish failure on anyone's projects, but it's been described by some as ill-conceived. And here's the thing. Harry has reportedly been trying to click back into the charitable lifestyle that he clearly cares about, but the optics? Not great, according to critics. So where does this leave us? According to this source, the ball is essentially in their court. The king allegedly extended an invitation. There's a path forward if they want it, but the conditions are clear. Sign the NDA, hand over the phones, no recordings, no photos, no tell-all material afterward. Just a normal family visit like millions of people do every single day without thinking about it twice. But here's my honest prediction. And remember, this is just my opinion based on the available information. She reportedly wouldn't want to relinquish her mobile phone, and more importantly, even if she somehow agreed to that, the inability to discuss anything afterward would probably be a deal-breaker. Not because anyone's trying to hide anything, but because the entire value proposition of making the trip reportedly involves eventually being able to talk about it. William apparently knows this. In my opinion, by putting these stipulations forward, he's essentially created a win-win scenario for everyone involved. If they agree to the terms, great. The family can have a private, peaceful reunion without worrying about leaks or recordings. If they refuse, well, then the invitation was extended, and the refusal is on their end. Nobody looks like the bad guy. It's actually kind of clever when you step back and look at the chessboard. You see how this works now. This isn't about excluding anyone. It's about establishing boundaries. And, frankly, isn't that what every family therapist on the planet recommends? Clear communication, established expectations, mutual respect for privacy. Now, I want to address something important here. None of this is officially confirmed. All of this comes from sources and reports that haven't been verified by the palace, and it's crucial that we separate what's alleged from what's proven. The royal family hasn't made any official statement about any of this, so take everything with the appropriate grain of salt. But here's why this story matters beyond just royal gossip. It speaks to something universal. Every family has complicated dynamics, every family has disagreements, and every family eventually has to decide whether they want to work through those disagreements or let them fester forever. The difference is that most families don't have millions of people watching their every move. At the end of the day, here's where I land on this. I genuinely hope that any family can find a way to heal, if that's what everyone wants. Life is too short for grudges, and regardless of what you think about anyone's decisions over the past few years, these are still human beings trying to figure out how to be a family under impossible circumstances. That deserves at least a little bit of grace. But will the visit actually happen? According to reports and sources, it seems unlikely based on the conditions allegedly being proposed. The NDA requirement alone, combined with the phone removal policy, creates an environment that reportedly wouldn't work for at least one party involved. And that's not a criticism, that's just an observation based on past behavior and public statements. So, there you have it, the full picture based on everything we currently know. The invitation reportedly exists, the conditions are allegedly clear, and now the ball is allegedly in their court. Will they agree to the terms for the sake of family unity, or will pride and principle keep everyone separated for another year? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, this story isn't over, and something tells me we haven't heard the last of this particular chapter.